Hey everyone, welcome to the post-race chat of the Azerbaijan GP with our podium finishers. We've got KDB with us from the Williams Racing team, and we've got Sethuram from the Haas F1 team, and we've got UK or Utkarsh from the Haas F1 team as well. Let's start off with the Haas boys. The most ideal positions for a team to finish. Obviously, 1-2 is all the more better. But tell us about that chaotic race. Like we had over 9 retirements. How did you all hold on?
Well, UK, you want to go?
You go first.
Okay. Well, I think both for me in UK, Azerbaijan is one of our favorite tracks.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, even during qualifying, I was really looking to qualify in a better position. But I think I started in P7 because I knew like if I started behind, it's going to be hard for me to get through the chaos. And I was looking forward to that. But somehow, luckily, both of us, I think, managed to get through the mess. And we kind of were talking throughout the entire race as to what the standings are, who's ahead of us and who's messing up and who's not. And I think, it was pretty much easy after a certain point. Like say the second stint of the race, it was pretty clear, like we are going to finish in a higher position, but which position exactly was what we were trying to figure out.
Makes sense. What about you, UK? How did you feel about Baku?
As I've said previously, Baku was one of my favorite tracks, like to do something over there. And but I knew there were going to be some incidents, and also like keeping that in mind, we both the Haas started on the softer tire, and then we continued to go extend the stint and go probably for me it was a one stopper, and Setu was trying to do different. But then midway through the race, during the safety car incident, I lost my wing. So like I did a lap, but the wing was badly damaged. So like I had to do an extra bit because of that. So like Setu being the driver in front for Haas, so like the whole thing was dependent on him. So like I gave him the preferred pit stops and strategy, and then. Yeah, that's all. Setu was doing really good in the front. He was battling it out. He was overtaking Big Man Joe and Vignesh and all. And I was having a very lonely race behind. But yeah, somehow I caught up.
Yeah, it was wonderful to hear that like you'll actually communicate well with each other, and that kind of added on to your wonderful result at Baku. More on that little later. KDB, a lot of people in the league have called you the man, the myth, the legend, and a lot of people in the league said your name when I asked them who else can be, can compete, everyone can compete with the front runners, but who's the one person everyone thought is like slacking off or isn't performing at the level he can? It was you. So, and you finally, won a race. You have been on the podium in Australia too. But tell me how that race go for you. I mean, multiple moments for you from the back of the grid, literally. So go for it.
Can you repeat what you just said? I think I'm having internet problems.
Sure. So yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
okay.
hear you. Cool. Till where did you hear me?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
First sentence.
Cool. So, like I was saying, the man, the myth, the legend is what a lot of people in the league keep referring to you as. And a lot of drivers who've been in the pre-race chat and the post-race chat, they've all said your name when it comes to who's the one driver who hasn't been performing at his best yet. You have been on the podium in Australia, but ever since you went to Williams, driving the Williams car, things haven't been great. And Baku as a whole, it was like from the back of the grid all the way to the front. So, and a lot of moments along. So give us an idea. How was Baku for you?
It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I qualified on the medium tires, thinking maybe if I would qualify on the softs and maybe end up in the top 10, I'd be at a disadvantage, strategically. So I chose the mediums. But then I did my laps and I was like 16th on the grid. I was like, oh no, I should have gone for the soft. But it's fine. I mean, medium hard was the best strategy time wise. And actually, everything went right for me in the race. So, like the timing of the virtual safety car, which allowed me to pit in and gain a lot of time, jump everyone else in the pit. So, I think that and the fact that Big Man Joe and Supreme Leader, they all made some small mistakes, which all added up to my victory. Yeah.
Um, you mentioned there was a strategy masterclass after the race. You mentioned in one of our uh,
Yeah.
chats. So give us an idea on how it was a masterclass. What how were you able to execute on that? I know Thor, your
Right.
teammate, was actually having a good race too. Like he did climb considerable positions right before he ended up retiring. So give
Yeah.
us an idea how it went.
Yeah, so I knew by experience that the softs on Baku were absolutely not a good choice because they barely last for 7 or 8 laps. So if you had to go from soft to medium, that's two extra pit stops. That's a lot of that's one extra pit stop over one pit stop. So ideally, medium hard is the best strategy when you race at Baku. And so already when you look at how the racing points switched from softs to hard, then to soft again, and then Big Manjo I think went from mediums to softs and soft again, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but medium hard. I think very few people actually did medium hard. So in that way, it was a very good strategic move, and also you must have seen how Big Majo was on his mediums for like 15 or 16 laps before he had to pit, and he had to give up first place to Setu, and then I'm not sure if it was Setu or me, but anyways, he was running in first, and he had to pit because he was on very old mediums. So that actually gave me a nice gap that I could manage on my hard tires, although they were very old. But medium hard was the preferred strategy, like a good strategy.
um, Even though everyone said Thunderbird's gonna end up parking in the castle section, we saw you ending up having a moment there. I think the other driver at that moment was Vix 356, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Talk us through that. Like, give us a little idea on whether you had space, you didn't.
yeah. So, yeah, what happened was during the first lap, not the first lap, I think it was the second safety car. I don't know if it was virtual or real safety car, but it was too early to pit, but the racing point switched to hard tires. So I thought, okay, maybe they're trying something different. I don't know. But somehow Vignesh or Vix, he ended up in front of me and Big Manjo. We were both on mediums and he was on hards. And he had a damaged front wing. So he was really, really slow in the corners in the tight section like sector 2 and half of sector 1 basically. So it was really hard to follow him, and you know how Racing Point has a Mercedes engine and is great in a straight line.
Mhm.
So he was able to easily pull away even though we caught the right behind him, and we couldn't overtake in the tighter section of the track. I think around lap 8 he messed up the entry into the castle section. So I thought about pulling alongside him, but at the last moment I backed out. And the lap after that he made the same mistake again. And I was actually much closer than last lap. So I went in for the move. I thought maybe he'd give up the position because my car was like ahead of him going into the turn 8. Was it? Yeah, turn 8. But he didn't back out. So unfortunately, I ended up hitting the wall.
Mhm.
But the virtual safety car came out the same lap. So I kind of redeemed it by pitting and changing my wing as well and got the jump on everyone strategically.
Yeah, and of course the result was brilliant as ever. Little more
Yeah.
about your teammates soon, but let's go to the two Haas boys here. What I've been like noticing the most was both Bahrain and the Chinese GP. If I'm not wrong, y'all were wheel to wheel in certain moments. Talk us through what's happening since y'all have such good communication between y'all. What about those moments? Do y'all like go complete deaf to each other on the radio, or how is it?
Well, to be very honest, when we go wheel to wheel, we're actually communicating all the time. It's only moments when, say, UK wants to concentrate for getting one of the fastest laps, and I think that's when we go off radio.
Mm.
But otherwise, well, negotiating an overtake, especially, we communicate. We see who has the better pace. Like mostly it's UK. And UK always has the pace when compared to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll probably let UK by, but Azerbaijan was pretty different because he had a damaged wing, and I was on a fresher set of tires, I suppose. So that's when UK made the call. UK was like, you know what, you take over this race, and you can go for the overtake.
Wow.
So it's pretty much give and take. Like mostly we try to understand the situation we are in, and if UK is an advantage, he mostly takes over, or else I end up overtaking him. So that's pretty much it when regarding our wheel to wheel battles.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but otherwise I think communication is the key when it comes winning on Discord.
UK, your thoughts on going wheel to wheel with Sethuram?
Yeah, it's like as he said, like we always communicate through the radio. So yeah, like in Bahrain and China, like I was on a faster tire and I had a good pace. So like we were communicating, and I asked him like, will he let me through? And he's like, okay, I'll let you through. And even in Bahrain, like the side by side battle actually was going to the pits. So we made a switch over that the main straight, and it was a good move. Like we felt very good. And in Baku, like as Setu said, since he was doing good, he was like up into the top 5 or something, and he was doing overtaking people, had good pace. So I was like, okay, you will bring the points for us. I was not sure about my race, so like there were many midfield cars, so I might have ended up getting more damage. So like, okay, you get the preferred strategy. And again, we were side by side, and I was asking him whether when will you overtake me? I will give you space and all like that. He was like, don't worry, I'll get whenever I get near you, I'll let you know, and we'll make a pass on that. So yeah, that's how, like the good thing is we have a good communication going on, and that's what is really needed.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is probably the best team dynamics in the league so far, at least from what I've heard from others. Considering obviously most of the teams in the league, the cars are quite far apart. One of the drivers are up in the top 10 positions, and the latter are in the back of the field. So it's really nice to hear this, and hopefully all the other drivers who watch this actually take a little bit from this too. Um, KDB, give us a little insight on that car, because I know you've driven a different car for Australia, and there was a moment where we were on board Thor, and he was on the main straight of Baku, and he was side by wheel to wheel with a McLaren, and he just couldn't get that pace to make an overtake. Just couldn't, and you pushed
Yeah.
hard enough to like take the win. So give us an idea, you know, like what is that, like what's the main thing about that car which messes up your races, and what did you like make sure you're good at more while coming into Baku?
Yeah, so the main difference I found with Williams when coming from the Alfa Romeo in Australia is that the aerodynamic performance was absolutely horrible. I don't want, let's say horrible, yeah. So what happened was, like I said, in the earlier stages of the race, even with front wing damage, the racing point of Vic was able to pull away in a straight line on the main straight and the back straight as well. Every lap after lap, doesn't matter how close I was, even if I was in the slipstream right behind him, even if I had DRS, he would just pull away in a straight line. So it's actually very, very challenging to drive the Williams. In fact, I was running like super low downforce on my setup just to keep up with people on the stage. Maybe Thor had a higher downforce setup. I'm not sure about that. But it's in general is really challenging. You must have seen my performance in China and the earlier races. It's just not. I mean, it's very hard to gel with the car. So small mistakes will cost you a lot. And like I said, the downforce is kind of important in a Formula One car. So I had to literally drag the car around the lap just to finish in a good position.
Do you think you'll have this little advantage when it comes to street tracks, like eventually when we head into Monaco?
Maybe not. I can't say for sure right now. Like I said, the downforce wasn't really there for the Williams car, and Monaco is a track where you need a lot of downforce. But maybe I can find good setup that might take advantage of it because Monaco doesn't have straight, like a lot of big straight. So it might turn out better than Baku, but who knows? Let's see.
Mhm. I'm gonna like capitalize on this, race chat. Say to Ram, I've noticed in Australia itself that you were kind of like this wild card dude who climbs from the back of the grid all the way to the front, in more than one occasion. I think in Australia you had like an unfortunate crash in the last lap, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, where you went sideways and parked the car literally. Give us an idea on how the racing league has been, because obviously we haven't spoken to each other on at a race chat. How are you finding it? Do you like it? Are you enjoying it?
Well, so to be honest, like my race pace is pretty subpar when compared to one of the top runners. Like I realize that. So if you see my qualifying fashion, I probably qualify after P5 or P6. But then even during my practice, right before one of these races happen, when I practice, I always qualify from P20. I start my race from P20. So that gives me an idea as to how early I'll have to break into corners and I have to get a better exit. Like, when in the initial part of the race, all my thinking goes into, breaking earlier, getting better exits and overtaking a car. And that's pretty much how I climb position, because I'm accustomed to, practicing in that format. But otherwise, I can say it's been a series of lucky events, to be very honest, because even if you take Baku for instance, I suppose I was in P5 and I had significant amount of people in front of me, but they ended up messing up the race for themselves, and that actually put me in a better position. So I would say that it is a mix of both, me practicing in such a way that I can work my way from the back. But yeah, it's also all of these other factors that play in. So yeah, going forward, I think I will have to work on my race pace. That is something I've always been kind of backward compared to others. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.
That's cool. That's great to hear. Of course, the Spanish GP is next. UK, you fancy getting the fastest lap there again, so we can have a
Like
IG live?
I want to, but the Spanish Barcelona is very tricky for me. Like
Yeah.
in the past 2 seasons, I've been spinning over there, like turn 5, I think. Yeah, turn 4 or 5, I think. Yeah, there, and damaging my wing. So like, yeah, it will be an eventful race, but let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, a win, first win of the season.
Yeah, hopefully. And a 1-2 for Haas, who knows? Uh,
Yes, yes, definitely.
yeah, KDB, what about you, bro? I know Williams could be in the back foot, but like anything, this is racing. So, what do you think?
I'm sorry, my connection dropped out. What do you think about what?
What do you think about the Spanish GP?
Oh, yeah, I love Barcelona. I love that track. I've always been like, even last year, my performance was really good on that track. So I don't really have much concern going into Barcelona. The States could be a bit of a concern, but I'm actually a big fan of the track, so I don't feel a lot of doubt going into it. I've
Oh,
driven like, I don't know, I've driven a lot on that circuit.
oh, okay. So it's one of your favorites, if we could say that. Yeah?
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
So it's one of your favorites, if we could say that.
Yeah, sorry, everyone froze on my screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is. I love that track.
Mm. Cool. Awesome. What about you, Sethram? What do you feel? Spanish GP, Barcelona, or 1-2 for Haas? Is it possible?
Well, I'm pretty sure UK has a good race pace and he's always up for the podium positions. But with respect to me, I would pretty much say that I've been practicing, and like UK said, I think turn 4 or turn 5, the one on the left, it's pretty tricky. I always spin around on the place. So I need to ensure, at least in the initial part of the race, with all the fuel load, I get a good exit out of that corner and don't, like ram into anybody. But yeah, I'm looking forward to end up at least above P5, P6. That's pretty much my idea for Spain at least.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what about real Formula One? Double header, the second race this weekend. How excited are y'all? Just to get an idea, which teams do y'all actually which teams do you all fanboy for? I know UK is like, I think if I remember well, you're a Seb fan, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So obviously now ideal last race, but yeah, give me an idea of what you're hoping for this race weekend in the real Formula One.
Well, obviously, like from the last weekend, you can see the Ferrari car didn't have much pace, but
Yeah.
Charles did an amazing job putting the car in P2. And unfortunate for Sebastian spinning around. But yeah, let's see. Like having a two same tracks in like consecutively, I think the teams will have much more useful data to work upon.
Yeah.
And I think Ferrari might do something about it. Like Sebastian's car, like I feel very bad since
Yeah.
it's the last year, probably might be a last year for him in F1. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then Lando did a solid job as well, like getting P3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, McLaren are a team to look forward to.
For sure. Sethuram, what about you? Who do you support?
Well, I am a Ferrari person too. Like I've always been fan of the Scuderia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like again, I think I'll have to agree with UK on this. Like I like Sebastian a lot, but yeah, Ferrari's pace does not look very promising this year. But I just read an article recently saying that their new aero package might arrive for the Styrian GP as well.
Yep, that's
So
it.
that is something to be happy about. But
Mhm.
yeah, like maybe one or two races, and then we can see where things are going for Ferrari. I mean, Charles is always there, and yeah,
Hopefully.
hope we have a good season because it's
Yep.
again like UK says the last season for Seb, and it would be really nice to see him up top there, but
Exactly.
it's still very unpredictable, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. KB?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an answer for fanboy team or a favorite team. I've never been like a supporter of anybody. I just like to watch good racing. But
Oh, okay.
looking at, yeah. So look, I mean, I've never really, figured a team and become a fan of them. So, but I've been really impressed with Lando's performance over the last year. So you could say I'm rooting for him going into the next race. Yeah.
Then I think the question, or more like the news which actually came out a couple of hours ago, Fernando's coming back next year. Thoughts?
Yep. It's great. It's great to see him back in F1. I always thought he'd come back for the next, the next regulation changes. He's been hinting it like for the past 2 or 3 years, but finally found a seat at Renault because, Ricardo's moving away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be great to have him back in F1. Maybe, just maybe, if Renault get their car right for 2022, maybe we'll see Alonso back on the podium, but that's still a long way away and long shot, honestly. But it's great to have him back.
Sure. I'm a little skeptical though. Like, I think the general Formula One fans, group, they're just genuinely skeptical about Fernando coming back and that too to Renault, considering they are still a midfield team. But again, as you said, 2022, anything's possible. What about y'all, Ferrari fanboys? What do y'all think? Yeah.
UK, you're talking. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like at this point, and I mean, I really hope they sort out their issues for next year, and they come back stronger. But I think my stance on Ferrari and me being a Ferrari person is still going to stay, irrespective of their performance this year and how it's going to continue. So yeah, but I'm mostly rooting for. I mean, being out this year, I'm probably rooting for Charles the next year, and yeah.
But thoughts on Fernando? That's the.
Fernando, like to be very honest, I haven't related much to the Fernando period of racing.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm glad he's back, but not any specific, like wow factor or any
Uh,
disappointment that is here. Yeah.
Makes sense. UK?
Yeah, even I think like I think he has had a 2 year break now, so might be tricky for him to get into a new regulation car and driving after 2 years break. And yeah, let's see. As KDB said, ki, uh, Renault has to do something to provide him with a good car in 22, or else he might back out as well. But it's sad to see like the spaces in the current season going away for like Sebastian Vettel won't be able to get a seat, I think. So yeah, he might do good.
Yeah, also a lot of the Renault junior drivers who are looking forward to that seat is obviously going to miss out on it for a couple of more years, considering Ocon's probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Either way, thank you for joining me, boys. I wish you nothing but the best for the Spanish GP. Hopefully, we see a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing between the Haas boys and the Williams up front. I think you have a brilliant team dynamic going on there too. I mean, at least on the lines of performance. So yeah. Anyways, cheers.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, Sarthak. See you.